Anybody remember these guys from umpty 11 episodes ago? It's time to put them on for real. Way back when, we figured out that these covers aren't going to work. So I'm just going with the bare retro look like that. So, I'll start at this end because I can. Step one, put the collar in. And this is our slightly too big hole. So the collar does not want to stay. You know what? I'll start at this end. And I'll figure that one out later. So press that in. And this goes in. Make sure it's aligned straight. And as you may recall, I flipped these around so that these screws are going into virgin wood. We're not really using holes. So shaky hands. Okay, there's an old hole there. I've got to avoid it. I'm going to have to make pilot holes on account of this wood is nice and hard. So, be right back. Alright, ideally, I'll use my drill with a teeny tiny bit to make some guide holes. I don't trust my shaky hand. So, what I did, I've got a little paneling nail here and my soft hammer, and I'm just going to punch that nail through the wood a little bit. So I have a hole started. I've already put 2 screws in. So let's go ahead and do the other 2. With that starter hole, it just goes in much easier because that gets it through the finish, whatever that veneer stuff is that's on this wood, and everything else, and down into something that the screw can actually catch on to. So, if the screws will stay where I put them, then we can get this done. Now, when this is finished, I've got some old holes here from the old hardware, whatever it may have been. I haven't decided what I want to do with those yet, or if I want to do anything with them or just leave them there. Kind of a testament to where this thing came from versus where it's going to end up when we're done with it. When I built the guitar, or a rebuild actually, the guitar that I call Renaissance, I decided to do one thing, and that was keep the headstock and keep the logo. Because that tells me, that reminds me where this guitar came from. Now, you may or may not remember, this thing was a $130 with an amp Costco special several years ago that Fender put out. They called it a Starcaster, which is a blatant rip-off of their own name. And when I found it, it was in pretty bad shape. I put some Fender locking tuners on it, and then I put a set of Fender 5762 pickups in it, and boy, she rocks. But you may notice right now there's no strings on her. That's because I'm going to paint her. I kind of like this black sparkly, but I've got the bug now. I want to paint her a different color. Okay, after that little digression, explaining why I'm probably going to leave those holes where they are, let's move on. I happen to have an existing hole here that is in the right place. So, never mind what I said earlier, I'm going to use it. Right there. Something I just noticed. I've got them centered perfectly in the holes. There's only one way they can go in there. But they're setting different distances from the top. That tells me this thing was not very carefully built. But that's okay. We can deal with that because it's not going to affect how the instrument plays. Or really even how it looks, because unless you get right down onto it like we are right now, you can't tell it. So, there, we got a good bite. All right. So, yeah, that low E machine, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. It's a bad fit. Because that hole somehow got a little damaged. So that may require some thought, so I may not get that done today, and I may or may not get it done on camera. If I come up with a really, really cool creative way to do it, I'll film it. If I just kind of use elbow grease and fumble along, I probably won't. But that's one of those things that I'm going to have to look at more deeply before I try to do it. 2 on, we are getting there. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're looking good. All right. Okay. A string. That doesn't need the hammer. Okay. On you go. Moving there. That did not go where I wanted it to. To make it even more interesting, I lost my little nail. I absentmindedly put it down, heard it drop, and knew I had made a big mistake. I hope all these foibles are entertaining to you. Imagine how boring it would be if everything went right. I have no idea where it went. I could only find that one, too, so. Okay, I marked where those two holes need to go. So close to the old holes. I don't know if you can tell. There's two holes right there, and they are just about a millimeter off of where I need to put this thing. Which leads me to wonder if I can use them anyway. You know what? I'm going to try. Just because if it doesn't work, I can do it different. Okay, we're turning good, so. I'm just going to try and muscle this one. Hey, it worked. All right. Let's get the last two in here. This thing does not look straight. That just doesn't look right. Yep, that's the way it's going to have to be. I'm not going to be able to use that existing hole. It's off just enough that it's going to mess things up. So you come here. Let's get you put in place to hold it straight. Okay. There we go. Shall we give it a try? Why not? You know what? I'm going to put a little bit of glue around this just to keep it there. So, I need to go get it and I will be right back. Alright, I've got my E6, where is the camera? There it is. I got my E6000 glue here. My wife uses this stuff for the, okay, let me try this again. My wife uses this stuff on her stained glass mosaics. From what I understand, it's strong enough that you could probably build a car out of it. So I'm just getting a little dab of it on my finger here, and I'm going to put it around here. We don't want too much because we don't want it gooshing out and making a mess. We just want enough to hold it in place and compensate for that mistake there. And the glue is running away. So, we will let that set for a little bit. And we are almost there. There's our 4 covers that we're not going to use. They, I don't know what I'll do with them. I'll probably keep them, trip over them for a while, and then in about 2 years, I'll realize that I don't need them anymore and I'll dispose of them. That's the way it usually goes around here. So, let's get this last peg mounted. Boy, I wish I knew where that nail went. Let's do this. Stop moving. Right there. Okay. One to go. Okay, so this is far from perfect, as you can probably see from there, but you know what? They all work. Need to make sure the glue holds that one. It'll need some cleaning up after that glue finishes drying. I can take care of that later. They all work. They turn smoothly. And look at that. Look what we did. Okay, I got to figure out what to treat this fingerboard with. But we'll do that in the next video.